Fluid statics. Fluid statics is the branch of fluid mechanics that studies incompressible fluids at rest. It encompasses the study of the conditions under which fluids are at rest in stable equilibrium, as opposed to fluid dynamics, the study of fluids in motion. What is fluid? A fluid is a state of matter that yields to sideways or shearing force. Liquids and gases are both fluids. Fluid statistic is the physics of stationary fluids. Pressure. Pressure is the force per unit perpendicular area over the force is applied. In equation form, pressure is defined as F is equal to PA. The SI unit of pressure is Pascal, and 1 Pascal is equal to 1 Newton over meter squared. Variation of pressure with depth in a fluid. Pressure is the weight of the fluid, mg, or mass times gravity divided by the area A supporting it, the area of the bottom of the container. P is equal to mg over A. Pressure due to the weight of a fluid is given by P is equal to H/Pg, where P is the pressure, H is the height of the liquid, P is the density of the liquid, and G is the acceleration due to the gravity. Pascal's principle. The pressure is force per unit area. A change in pressure applied to an enclosed fluid is transmitted and diminished to all portion of the fluid and to the walls of its container. A hydraulic system is an enclosed fluid system used to exert forces. Since atoms in a fluid are free to move about in a enclosed fluid, they transmit the pressure to all parts of the fluid and to the walls of the container. Remarkably, the pressure is transmitted and diminished. This phenomenon is called Pascal's principles. Pascal's formula. This brings us to a very important formula. P is equal to F over A. P is equal to pressure, F is equal to force, and A is equal to area. This expresses that pressure is a force per unit area. Gauge pressure, absolute pressure, and pressure measurement. Gauge pressure is the pressure relative to atmospheric pressure. Absolute pressure is the sum of gauge pressure and atmospheric pressure. Aneroid gauge measures pressure using a bellows and spring arrangement connected to the pointer of calibrated scale. Open tube manometer have U-shaped tubes and one end is always open. It is used to measure pressure. A mercury barometer is a device that measures atmospheric pressure. Archimedes principle. Buoyant force is the net upward force on any object in any fluid. If the buoyant force is greater than the object's weight, the object will rise to the surface and float. If the buoyant force is less than the opponent weight, the object will sink. If the buoyant force equals to the object's weight, the object will remain suspended at that depth. The buoyant force is always present whether the object floats, sinks, or is suspended in a fluid. Archimedes principle states that the buoyant force on an Archimedes principle formula. F sub B is equal to P GV. F sub B is equal to the buoyant force, P is the density in the fluid, V is equal to fluid's volume, G is the acceleration due to the gravity.